You're looking for the safest, longest lasting chews or bones for your dog, but every time you find one that they like, you learn that it could be a choking hazard, it could chip their teeth, it could cause a blockage, and you're just completely fed up. In this video, I'm not going to gatekeep. I'm going to spill the beans and share some of the most popular chews and bones and reveal the risks and benefits. Kicking it off with one of the most popular is a bully stick, also known as a pizzle, and if sourced responsibly and properly, these are single ingredient natural chews made of muscle meat. Dogs often love the flavor, so they can be higher value. They can be great for dental health and scraping the teeth clean, massaging the gums. They're typically longer lasting, and you can even get thicker ones or longer ones to help with super chewers. Now, this doesn't come without some risks. I've been in the pet industry and creating content around dogs for years, so I've gotten a lot of feedback, especially around bully sticks. And the number one negative concern I get is that they can sometimes cause stomach upset, GI upset, they can cause some loose stool when they're first starting out, or even some extra gas. And a lot of this is because it is a very high protein chew. And this is why when I'm giving my dogs a new to them chew, that I limit the time they get with that chew to like 5, maybe 10 minutes. And then I give them a day or two to see how they do with it, so I can slowly introduce them to it. And because pizzles or bully sticks have become so popular, in my experience, it's been very difficult to find ones that are high quality, responsibly sourced, not treated with chemicals. And when you get a low quality one, I could imagine that it could much more likely cause some GI upset. And just like with any toy or chew out there, of course there's a little risk for having dental damage, especially with weak enamel, and especially with bully sticks that are overly processed, and blockages are a real potential risk, especially if you allow your dog get to the very last 1 to 3 inches of the bully stick, especially unsupervised, and especially if they have a tendency to swallow things whole. Whether you ask a vet, a dog trainer, someone in a Facebook group, a nutritionist, you are going to get varying and differing answers on what bones or chews are the safest for dogs. And that's for good reason, because every dog is different. And the harsh reality is that most anything we give our dogs can quickly become dangerous or hazardous in the wrong situation. Dogs chip their teeth on rocks all the time. They can choke on sticks. They get blockages from trying to swallow socks or underwear. And they can get balls that you play fetch with lodged or stuck in their throat. And this is why I'm a big advocate of always supervising use with any toys or chews. One of my dog's favorite chews are Yak Chews, which are growing so quickly in popularity. They're a hardened cheese chew, and some of the benefits are that they're excellent dental cleaners. They help scrape those teeth clean because they are a harder chew. They're typically longer lasting, pretty much next to no odor, very low mess. And for my dogs, I love that as they're chewing on it, because it's made of all natural ingredients, their saliva starts to break it down and make it softer as they go. So in my experience, they've digested it really, really well. It's highly digestible for my dogs. Now, there are some risks and downsides of Yak Chews, just like any others. And just like bully sticks, all Yak Chews are not made the same. It's very, very difficult in my personal experience to find a Yak Chew that comes from a responsibly raised animal, that is not overly processed and is not full of chemical treatments or ingredients that I personally wouldn't feed my dogs. Now, before we jump into chicken bones, no-hide chews, collagen chews, let's talk about rawhide. And if you're getting value from this, click that subscribe button to help us on our mission to save all the damn dogs. And rawhide chews, here's my simple response to that. Just don't. There's, in my opinion, no value, no benefits to feed a rawhide chew. They are not digestible. Blockages and choking hazards are extremely high with these. The way that they're processed in many situations is inhumane to the animal. And they're made with unnecessary ingredients that I would never feed my dogs, like glues, formaldehydes, unnatural flavorings, dyes. And that's a great segue to no-hide chews or rawhide-free chews that you see in pet stores and online, where the manufacturers have taken gelatin, beef skin, and a few other ingredients to make a rawhide alternative. And while these aren't my favorite chews because they do often have some a little unnecessary added filler type ingredients that, again, I'm just not a big fan of, like a lot of rice and different flavorings, I will say the benefits of these is that if you are gung-ho on feeding a rawhide, but you are willing to try something that's similar but different, if I had to pick between one of these rawhide free no hide chews or a rawhide, I would definitely pick the no hide. And in my experience, they haven't been as hard as like a yak chew, for example. So for people that are like extremely nervous about giving a really hard chew, these have been a little bit softer, at least the brands that I have tried. This next one might get me canceled, but I'm sharing my truth and I'm sharing what works for my dogs best, and it is chicken bones. Now that comes with a big fat asterisk in that I never feed cooked chicken bones or cooked bones, period, but I love to feed my dogs raw, meaty bones. Good examples of that are responsibly sourced raw chicken feet, chicken neck, duck neck, chicken wings. And the reason I love to feed these, yes, they're completely raw, so I feed ones that are, again, responsibly sourced human grade, so I don't worry as much about salmonella. And I also don't really worry about salmonella. Dogs are naturally and biologically designed to eat and consume raw meat. Now, if you've never fed your dog a raw meaty bone, this is something to introduce really slowly. And they're great because there's nothing added to them that dogs can't have. They're not processed at all. They are in a most natural state. Dogs get excellent dental benefits from it because the crunching on the bones, like you see, raw chicken bones, when they're not cooked, are soft. Dogs can easily crunch them up. They're pliable, and they act as like a great way to clean and scrape dogs' teeth and massage the gums and the ligaments and the tendons, act like floss in their teeth. And dogs also get a lot of enrichment from it because they were meant to shred, chew, tear apart bones. If you've never fed any raw meat to your dog, giving it to them for the first time could cause some GI upset. So when I first started giving my dogs this, I would start for like 5 minutes at a time. Again, like a raw chicken foot is so easy because it's really high in really soft, crunchable bone content, and dogs just love it. Another risk or downside is they can be messy. People worry about the salmonella, and really the concern with salmonella, even according to the FDA, is more of the concern of us as humans getting salmonella from touching raw meat. No different than you going to the grocery store, getting a bag of hamburger meat or raw chicken breast, preparing it. You wash your hands, you wash surfaces. So a lot of people will give these raw chicken bones in a crate and just put a towel down or outside and then just wipe their mouths clean, and then they're fine afterwards. Antlers are highly controversial because many people have experienced dogs that chip their teeth. And what I've learned with bones like antlers is that they're just like any other chew I've talked about. Not every dog is meant for every chew. And that's why I always say every dog is different, and you need to treat or chew or give a bone to your dog that is best suited for them. Always supervise. And for my dogs personally, I never give them a chew for more than 15, maybe 20, 25 minutes consecutively at a time, pretty much ever. If they're still going at it for that long, I'll typically pick it up and put it away. And the thing with antlers that I like is that they're relatively pretty much odor-free, low mess, very long lasting. I personally get split antlers, and I like elk because elk's a little softer, but split antlers has that marrow exposed, and my dogs just love kind of chewing on it. No big deal. My 13-year-old lab has never had a tooth fracture or issues at all, and he's had them since he was a puppy. Air-dried chews or single ingredient chews are one of my go-tos because they're easy to find, and examples of them are collagen chews. These have become very popular. They're similar to a bully stick. In my experience, they're a tiny bit softer, so people that want to feed a bully chew but want something that might not be as hard really enjoy collagen chews. Plus they're high in protein, single ingredient. Now let's talk about some of my favorite foods or dog food brands. Click the video right here and we'll jump over there together. Or if you want to learn more about my leash pulling and how to stop leash pulling techniques, click the video right here. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Goodbye.